and said,
right, because those are all our enemies. All our enemies are consulting to come against us. You know, how are they going to best attack the Israelites? How are they going to best come against the Israelites? Go ahead.
Verse 9, it says, "Let our Lord now hear a word, that there be not an overthrow in thine army. For this people of the children of Israel do not trust in their spears, but in the height of the mountains wherein they dwell, because it is not easy to come up to the tops of the mountains. Now therefore, my Lord, fight
because
not."
where the Lord placed us was a strategic place, you know, where the mountains protected us from intruders, okay? Because they would have to go over the mountains and all these things to get to us, you know? Go ahead.
It says, verse 11, "Now therefore, my Lord, fight not against them in battle array, and there shall not so much as one of thy people perish. Remain in thy camp and keep all the men of thine army, and let thy servants get into their hands the fountain of water which issueth forth of the foot of the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
For all the inhabitants of Bethulia have their water dense, so shall thirst kill them, and they shall give up their city."
You see that? So this is a military strategy. You see, instead of going to attack them and lose men, he said, listen, none of your servants have to die. No one has to die. All we have to do is make sure we take away their water. What does the scripture speak about the things that man need? About wine, honey, if a brother can get that real quick. There's certain things that men need, you know?
Hey,
water
can you call that scripture again for the people that's just watching right now?
Yeah, recall the scripture, brother.
It's Judith 7. I started from verse 6, now I'm at verse 12.
Yeah, it's an excellent scripture. Well, you got it.
Oh, no, you're on mute, brother. You're on mute, brother. That's a car. You're on mute.
So like it. I have the Sirach 39.
Can't go ahead.
This is Sirach 39 and verse 25. For the good and good things created from the beginning, so evil things for sinners. The principal things for the whole of man's life are water, fire, iron and salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of the grape, and oil and clothing.
Right. And we see that Esau is getting ready to come down on all of that. Okay. He's about to put restrictions on all of those things. But these things are military strategies. Once you take control of these things that people need, especially food and water, okay, you control the people.
Yeah,
okay.
That's the saying. You know, if you can control the food, if you can control food, you can control a nation. Okay. If you can control the money, you can control the world. Because that's going to lead to your access to getting food and moving everything, right? But if you can control the food, you can control that city or that nation. And so they're going to have restriction. That's why that's such a critical part of understanding that in Revelation, the 13th chapter, like the brother had mentioned earlier. Because you take away a man's sandwich, he's either going to comply or he's either going to fight. Ain't no in between. Ain't no in between. Sure. He either going to say, okay, what do you want me to do? Or he going to fight. And we're getting close to those type of times, okay? But you got it, bro.
Okay, Khan. So I'm going to read this again. It says, hunger and war. Many of the worst contemporary wars are accompanied by mass starvation. In some cases, starvation is used as a weapon. Okay. And it says on May 24th, 2018, the United Nations Security Council unanimously passed a resolution condemning the use of food insecurity and starvation as a tactic of war. And which that doesn't mean anything because they're using that against the people now. Okay, it says it was the first time the council had ever addressed the issue, acknowledging a threat to the lives of tens of millions of people aimed at countries currently engaged in international or civil wars. The resolution implores all parties to leave food stocks, farms, markets, and other distribution mechanisms intact. It demands parties, what are they doing now? All these things are being attacked. All these farmers, they're destroying. They're telling them they have to destroy their crops. They have to destroy livestock because of some plague. Okay, so they're doing this now to the people on a worldwide scale. Okay, it says it demands parties in conflict permit humanitarian aid workers unimpeded access to populations in dire need, and states that using starvation of civilians as a method of warfare may constitute a war crime. Ending hunger and extreme food insecurity features among the UN's Sustainable Development Goals adopted in 2015. Worldwide, the number of hungry and malnourished people had been declining for at least 2 decades, but began rising after 2015. Experts believe conflicts and wars, along with weather events associated with climate change, like the brother said, the brother Zabak said, that's another way that can bring about famine, are the main reasons for this setback. Among the 850 million people suffering from chronic malnutrition in 2016, 60% live in areas affected by armed conflict. Okay, so we know that there's a correlation between war and hunger. Okay, so like I said, we're coming into the time of war, right? So we know that even though they're trying to orchestrate a war, even though they're trying to orchestrate a famine, what's going to really help them bring forth a famine is going to be that war ultimately. So if a brother has can get me any brother have a precept first and foremost? Go ahead, Makai. Oh, go ahead, Zakar. Zakar, you have one?
Yeah, come.
Okay, Zakar, go ahead first.
This is the book of Sirach 39 and verse 29. It says, fire and hell and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance.
That's right. That's right. Go ahead, brother. You can break it down.
All right, so like you said, actually, like the elder said, the Lord creates famine for judgment. Okay, so these are just examples of plagues that the Lord brings. And these are some of the plagues that he brought into Egypt as well. And, we know that the Lord's going to hit this new Egypt with the same plague that before.
That's right. That's right. Go ahead, Makai.
This is Joel 3 and verse 10. It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Like you were stating earlier, how that war brings in famine, because these nations, when there's war, they invest their money more in weapons than actual agriculture. So that brings a famine in the land too.
Yep, that's right. That's right. That's right. That's exactly it. They start taking that money from the people and start putting it into this war. And they're already, and America's constant, not just America, but these nations are constantly putting in money into war now because they know that time is coming. Okay.
If this Zoom link goes off, do we just click the same link?
Yeah, right. It's about to go off actually. So when the Zoom link goes off, just click right back again.
Okay.
The water is on. So Shaquat, you have something?
Allah.
Okay. All right, perfect. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna you got a precept?
Pertaining to how the brother said that in the time of famine, people are going to be willingly compliant. So bringing it back to the time of Egypt during the famine with Joseph.
You're going to have both. You're going to have people that's going to be compliant, and then you're going to have people that's ready to fight. You're going to have both, man. Just think about when you're hungry. All right. That clicked out for all you people. We're gonna come back into the stream. Just 1 second. Boom, boom. Over here. Come back into this link. There we go. All right. I'm back like I never left.
Okay.
All right.
Shalaki's a quantity just went out.
No biggie, bro. You can pick up. We can pick up right where we left off, bro.
Con.
We can pick up right where we left off. You know, I was just making a statement that, you know, just think about it when you're hungry, man. You actually you go through those emotions. I mean, sometimes you can do your best videos when you when you fasting, because you got the, you know, you're more in a spiritual state when you starve your appetite. So
Yeah.
people are gonna be ready for judgment whenever they get in that spirit of hunger. And it's just like the brother said, there's so many different ways that basically famine can be manifest. War, but hey, think about it like this: if they shut down these banks, or they try to let's say, oh, you know, the BRICS banks are going to take away the dollar, and then the dollar ends up not being the reserve currency for the world anymore. All the governments are going to shut down. All the economies around the world are going to shut down, man. People are not going to be getting paid. Truckers are not going to be getting paid. Hyperinflation. People are going to go crazy, you know? But hey, man, y'all continue with the points that y'all making. Y'all making some great points.
God. Any brother had another precept? You had something, Barak?
Yeah. So, like I was saying, so bringing it back to the time of the famine in Egypt with Joseph, and straight to the point in Genesis 47:19, wherefore shall we die before thine eyes, both we and our land, buy us and our land for bread, and we and our land would be servant unto Pharaoh, and give us seed that we may live and not die, that the land be not desolate. And Joseph bought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh, for the Egyptians sold every man his field because the famine prevailed over them.
So what? They sold their field, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which was probably inheritances and whatnot, but they didn't care because what? It was in the time of famine. See, that's going to cause a lot of people to do things that they wouldn't normally do. Get me a 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, Mahaya Babakusha.
Yep.
All right, that's going to cause people to do things that they would not normally do. Okay, and when you read 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, when you around the say the 13th verse, 14th verse, okay, it goes into them doing some crazy stuff, but it was all predicated upon what? Upon the lack of bread. Now go ahead and read that, brother.
This is 2nd Ezra 15. I'm gonna start at verse 14. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands.
Right. So like the elder said, he said, what? There's going to be two sides of the spectrum. We're going to have the people that are just going to comply, okay, which is going to be most likely the majority.
That's going to be
okay?
the bulk of people, yeah.
Yeah. And then you're going to have the other people that are just going to be ready for war. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 16, it says, and there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor.
See, that's going to wait, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. And when we look up that word cold, we know that means what? Psycho. Okay, right? We know that means psycho. So these people are going to turn psychotic, man. Okay, so even people, that goes back to the curses too, where it speaks about a man who's tender and delicate among you. His eyes shall be what? Evil toward his brother. Matter of fact, Shaquat, you can get that in the curses too, because these are all curses. See, but the thing is that the Lord is not just bringing it upon Israel right now. He's going to bring it upon the world. Okay, go ahead, bro.
This is
let me finish that off first. Let me finish that off. Go ahead, Mahai.
Finishing off 2nd Ezra 15 and 19. It says, man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation.
Because of the lack of bread. See, that was all based upon the lack of bread. That's going to cause people to do things they would not normally do, to step out of character. You understand? And if they don't have Yahawah Shem Yahawashi, them demons are going to overtake them. Go ahead, Shaquat.
Can I grab a quick precept?
Absolutely.
Man,
this is second.
Just think about that one verse right there, bro. Like, let that verse marinate. Read verse 19 again.
This is 2nd Ezra 15 and verse 19. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the
Bro, you know how
sword.
mad you gotta be, bro? How desperate you have to feel? Think about it, bro. Y'all got neighbors?
Yeah.
What would make you run up in their shit?
Food.
Think about it. What would make you go to your neighbor's spot right now and just with a pistol in your hand, kick their door in, pistol whip the dude, woman screaming, ah! Shut up, bitch! Shut up! And you just start taking food, you start taking stuff. You know what I'm saying? You don't care about no cops, you don't care about nothing. No pity. Cause you hungry than a hoe. You're hungry, bro. That's how people gonna be. People think that we're being extreme. No, we're not. This one verse is extreme. It's not gonna just be in the movies. Okay? Read that verse again, Baba Kusha.
Khan. This is 2nd Ezra 15 and verse 19. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation.
All hell is gonna be breaking loose, man. See, when I read these scriptures, I picture it in my mind. You see what I'm saying? I picture it. Okay? How desperate someone is to just, when a man is hungry and he don't know what there's gonna be vicious people walking around the earth when everything shuts down. Ain't no cops, ain't nobody that's gonna stop them. No pity, right? Because of lack of bread and for great tribulation. These are the things that are coming to this modern Western society. Okay, you got it, bro.
And you know what? That's like when we're speaking about these things, what people are getting ready to do. That's civil war too. Like it's gonna be it's war within the amongst the people. You know. So when you read this part here, it says wars are inherently violent and harmful and destructive and destruction but the destruction of resources can sometimes create more catastrophic harm than bombs and bullets.
Yep.
Warring parties may plunder an enemy's food supply. Is that not what these people are going to be doing in the cities? Absolutely. They're going to be kicking, like we just read, kicking down the doors, okay, waving the 4-4, right? It says deliberately destroying farms, okay, livestock, and other civilian infrastructures. Now that's going into the government and so on and so forth. But the point is that there's going to be the fact that people are going to be taking people's food and killing one another. That's going to be a lot more harmful than the things that are happening outside.
Bro, I want to read an account that goes along with what you're talking about here in the book of Josephus. I want to read this account. This is, and just to highlight what you're talking about, bro. Is that okay?
Yeah, bro, absolutely, brother. You do what you want.
And so when you go into the book of Josephus, there's an account whenever Jerusalem was besieged during the time the Romans besieged Jerusalem, right? And you go into this book of Josephus, and it's the story of Mary, right? And let me get the where the actual where it's at. It's in book 6, The Wars of the Jews by Flavius Josephus, book 6, chapter 3, section 4. Okay. Now I just clicked the reference from Wikipedia and I'm just going to read it. Okay. All right. Y'all listening?
You want me to give you the link? Want me to share you? You good? Actually, you can share it.
Do you have it?
Well, no, I don't have it. But you can share your screen if you want.
Okay.
I gave you the option.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. forgive
if you
me,
want.
because I'm sharing my screen on the StreamYard.
Oh,
Let me
okay.
see if
Okay.
this will work
Okay.
too here. Hold on.
I'm gonna stop sharing mine.
Okay. See.
Go ahead.
Can y'all see this on the Zoom?
Khan.
Yeah, y'all can see that? Okay, cool. Let me make sure that they can see it too. All right, bet. Right. I feel like an old man trying to figure it out. Let me share my screen. All right. So it says, there was a certain woman that dwelt beyond Jordan. Her name was Mary. Her father was Eleazar of the village of Bethzur, which signifies the house of hyssop. She was eminent for her family and her wealth, right? She had fled away to Jerusalem with the rest of the multitude and was with them besieged therein at this time. So they had circled the city, all right? They were besieged. The other effects of this woman had been already seized upon, such as she had brought with her out of Perea and removed to the city. What she had treasured up besides, as also what food she had contrived to save, had been also carried off by the rapacious guards, who came every day running into her house for that purpose. So inside of Jerusalem, inside of the walls, because they were besieged, you had a group of guys, group of guards, men, going house to house, just taking from people who were weaker, right? Just like we just read here in the book of 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. They were going to their neighbors, taking with the sword, right? All right. So it says this. This put the poor woman into a very great passion, and by the frequent reproaches and imprecations she eased at the rapacious villains, she had provoked them to anger against her. But none of them, either out of the indignation she had raised against herself or out of commiseration of her case, would take away her life. For if she found any food, she perceived her labors were for others and not for herself. And it was now become impossible for her any way to find any more food, while the famine pierced through her very bowels and marrow, when also her passion was fired to a degree beyond the famine itself. Nor did she consult with anything but with her passion and necessity she was in. She then attempted a most unnatural thing, and snatching up her son, who was a child sucking at her breast, she said, "O thou miserable infant, for whom shall I proceed? For whom shall I preserve thee in this war, this famine, and this sedition? As to the war with the Romans, if they preserve our lives, we must be slaves. This famine also will destroy us, even before that slavery comes upon us. Yet are these seditious rogues more terrible than both the other." So these guys that are coming in, they're worse than the war with the Romans and this famine, right? It says, "Come on, be thou my food," talking about her son, "and be thou a fury to these seditious varlets, and a byword to the world, which is all that is now wanting to complete the calamities of us Jews." As soon as she had said this, she slew her son and roasted him, and ate the one half of him, and kept the other half by her concealed. This is how desperate she became. This is to the point that she just like, F it, killed her son and roasted him and ate half of him. Just think about that. What we're saying is not extreme. What we're saying has happened in the world, and it's coming to a modern world near you. Okay? It says, upon the sedition came in presently. All right. Came in presently. And smelling the horrid scent of this food, they threatened her that they would cut her throat immediately if she did not show them what food she had gotten ready. She replied that she had saved a very fine portion of it for them, and withal uncovered what was left of her son. Hereupon they were seized with horror and amazement of mind, and stood astonished at the sight. So these rogues was looking like, oh shit, oh, you know, cannibalism.
Mm-hmm. I got a precept for you.
Let's go, champ.
All right. This is Deuteronomy 28.
This is actually prophecy being fulfilled right here that he's reading.
That's right. That's right. This is Deuteronomy 28, verse 52. It says, and he shall besiege thee in all thy gates until thy high and fenced walls come down wherein thou trustest throughout all thy land, and he shall besiege thee in all thy gates throughout all thy land, which the Lord thy power hath given thee.
Mm-hmm.
And thou shalt eat the fruit of thine own body, the flesh of thy sons and of thy daughters, which Yahawah thy power hath given thee in the siege and in the straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee. So that a man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil toward his brother and toward the wife of his bosom and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave, so that he will see. So her eye became evil towards her own son.
Yeah,
you know,
she was just like, "What's the point of having this kid? We can't eat.
Yeah.
We're besieged by the Romans. They come and they taking the food from us every single day. I'm hungry. I'm angry."
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yep. And it says, so that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children whom he shall eat, because he had nothing left him in the siege and in the straitness wherewith the enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates.
Wow.
It's heavy, right? That's some heavy stuff right there. Okay. Now, let me keep reading on this. It says, this is back in the book of Josephus. Okay. It says, oh yeah. It says, I'm gonna highlight it so y'all can see where I'm at. Y'all see where I'm at?
Okay.
It says, this is mine own son, and what have been done with mine own doing. Come, eat of this food, for I have eaten of it myself. Do not you pretend to be either more tender than a woman or more compassionate than a mother. But if you be so scrupulous and do abominate this my sacrifice, as I have eaten the one half, let the rest be reserved for me also. After which those men went out trembling, being never so much affrighted at anything as they were at this. And with some difficulty, they left the rest of that meat to the mother. Upon which the whole city was full of this horrid action immediately. And while everybody laid this miserable case before their own eyes, they trembled as if this unheard of action had been done by themselves. So those that were thus distressed by the famine were very desirous to die, and those already dead were esteemed happy, because they had not lived long enough either to hear or to see such miseries, man. So this is the desperation of famine. This is the desperation of a besieged city, like we reading about in 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. Okay, and you best believe, man, these fat ass westernized pieces of shit here in the world today will do way worse than what we're reading about here in the book of Josephus in this account when things hit the fan. And it's coming, man.
That's right.
It's coming, like we
Yep.
said. Y'all want China and the BRICS nations are they're gonna take away the dollar.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm cool with that. That'd be great. Immediate worldwide chaos would ensue.
That's good.
Immediate. China ain't gonna just de-dollarize and move on. Saudi Arabia can't get out of the dollar. They can't. The only way they can get out of the dollar is absolute chaos and war, which they will, because the scripture said that they would. But when they do that, it's over. It's game over, man. I hope they do. I hope they do it today. Do it right now. Push the goddamn button. Go. Do it.
That's right.
Get
That's
out of the
right.
dollar. Call all Yahawashi. But when you see these guys with this clickbait, Dabu 7, all these Glenn Beck, you know, get your food rations. Your little canned goods ain't gonna save you from the hell that's getting ready to come. Scriptures tell us about it, okay? What you got, bro?
Gone. So I want to jump to I was gonna pull up another article, but what I'm gonna do first, I'm gonna jump to 2 Kings.
Okay.
Okay. I'll start at the 8th chapter, the 8th verse rather. It says, then the king of Syria warred against Israel.
What verse you say you was in?
Locking?
What verse you say you was at?
2 Kings 6 and verse 8.
Oh, 6 and 8. Okay.
Con. So then the king of Syria warred against Israel and took counsel with his servants, saying, in such a place shall be my camp. And the man of the Most High sent unto the king of Israel, saying, beware that thou pass not such a place, for thither the Syrians are come down. And the king of Israel sent to the place which the man of the Most High told him, and warned him, and saved himself there not once nor twice. Therefore the heart of the king of Syria was sore troubled. So in other words, Elisha, he had the foresight from Yahawashi. He told the king, listen, don't go there, because the king of Syria is coming this way, right? And he saved his life multiple times by his counsel, right? So this is another thing I want to push forth, that the men of the Lord are going to be guided. You see, the king he had to come to the man of the Most High to get that guidance. But the men of Yahawashi are going to be guided in that time. It says, and warned him of and saved himself there not once nor twice. Therefore, the heart of the king of Syria was sore troubled for this thing. And he called his servants and said unto them, will ye not shew me which of us is for the king of Israel? And right, because he thought that basically someone was conspiring against him, because how did this guy dodge both of these traps? Right? Because he went to Elisha. It says, and one of his servants said, none, my lord, O king, but Elisha the prophet that is in Israel telleth the king of Israel words that thou speakest in thy bedchamber. And he said, go and spy where he is, that I may send and fetch him. And it was told him, saying, behold, he is in Dothan. Therefore sent he thither horses and chariots and a great host. And they came by night and compassed the city about. And when the servant of the man of the Most High was risen early and gone forth, behold, an host compassed and the city, both with horses and chariots. And his servant said unto him, alas, my master, how shall we do? Right? And he answered, fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them, right? Because they compass the city looking for Elisha. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to get to the famine. The famine's coming a bit later. but I just wanted to get into this point here. Okay. The fact that the Lord is with the elect. This is what brothers have to remember while we're going through this. It says that at what destruction and famine thou shalt laugh. It says, and Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see. And Yahawah opened the eyes of the young man, and he said, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. And when they came down to him, Elisha prayed unto Yahawah and said, smite this people, I pray thee, with blindness. And he smote them with blindness according to the word of Elisha. Okay. And so that's that spiritual power. And Elisha said unto them, this is not the way. What's going on here, man? This is not the way, neither is this the city. Follow me, and I will bring you to the man whom ye seek. But he led them to Samaria. And it came to pass, when they were come into Samaria, that Elisha said, Lord, open the eyes of the men that they may see. And the Lord opened their eyes, and they saw, and behold, they were in the midst of Samaria. Okay, so he set them up in a trap. He set them in a trap. And the king of Israel said unto Elisha, when he saw them, my father, shall I smite them? Shall I smite them? So, long story short, at the end of the day, he put him in a trap. He put him in a trap, put him in the midst of the city. And now the king is asking, should he smite these people? Okay, and he answered, thou shalt not smite them. Wouldest thou smite those whom thou hast taken captive with thy sword and with thy bow? Set bread and water before them, that they may eat and drink and go to their masters. And he prepared great provision for them. Okay, and I'm going to skip down. Okay, and I'm going to jump to verse 24. Said, and it came to pass after this, because after that time they didn't bother him anymore. Okay, that Ben-Hadad, king of Syria, gathered all his host and went up and besieged Samaria. So that's after that time. Okay, and there was a great famine in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it until an ass's head was sold for 80 pieces of silver, and the fourth part of a cab's dung. So they were selling the ass's head. First of all, an ass, which is a donkey, is unlawful to eat. And there's no head, there's no meat on the head. Okay? There's nothing but skin on the head. So they were selling that for how much? For 4 pieces of silver. Okay? And the fourth part, if a brother can get Revelations, the black horse, okay? So give me a second. It says, and the fourth part of a cab of dove's dung for 5 pieces of silver. Damn. Right. So and that's not even the full part. That's a what does it say? The fourth part. Okay, they even give you the full measure of the dove's dung. It says, and the king of Israel was passing by upon the wall. There cried a woman unto him, saying, help my lord, O king. Okay, matter of fact, okay, before I read that, you want to read that precept, brother? Revelations.
Good. This is Revelation 6 and verse 5. And it reads, and when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third be say, come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard,
right, so the pair of balances, that represents judgment. Okay, because this is all the judgment of Yahawah Shem Yahawashi. Go ahead.
Verse 6, and I heard a voice in the midst of the 4 beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny.
Now a penny is what? That was a day's wages going back to the Roman Empire. Okay, so you got to think about it. A day's wages just to buy a portion that when you read the definition, it tells you that it's just a matter of fact, look up the word measure there, brother. Look up the word measure real quick. Good. Okay.
This is the word measure.
Oh, which the elder has it on the screen here, but yeah, you can read it. Go ahead and read it.
Khan. This is the word measure from the blue letter. It says a conics, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, a conics, a dry measure containing 4 contile or 2 satiri, less than 4 quarts, 1 liter. It says, or as much as would support a man of moderate appetite for a day.
Right. So it's like a guy who doesn't eat much, right? You know, in a day, you know, but the average person would eat more than what that man eats, in other words. Okay. So that's what a measure a day's wage would get you. So you wouldn't be able to buy anything else except for that. So all the people's money and focus would go into what? Getting food, getting provision, getting water. Not going to be paying no bills, no rent, nothing like that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So go ahead, which that affects the economy as well. Okay. So that go ahead, keep going.
Yep. It's Revelation 6:6 again. It says, and I heard a voice in the midst of the 4 beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou heard not the oil and the wine.
Right, meaning what? This wisdom and knowledge. Because like I said, the elect, the Lord is dealing with the elect. And the ones that have that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, they're going to be stable in that time, and they're going to be helped in that time. Okay, but you foolish virgins, you're going to be out there by yourself, man. Okay, so let me continue. I was at verse 27. It says, and he said, oh, no, matter of fact, verse 26, it said, and as the king of Israel was passing by upon the wall, and I'm going to get another article in a second. Okay, there cried a woman unto him, saying, help my lord, O king. And he said, if Yahawah do not help thee, whence shall I help thee? Out of the barn floor or out of the winepress? In other words, there's no food. Okay. And the king said unto her, what aileth thee? Well, hold on. Another thing he said, if Yahawah does not help you, Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi. So guess what? Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi is the only help in these times. We gotta focus on that. You know, it says, and the king said unto her, what aileth thee? And she answered, this woman said unto me, give thy son that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow. So we boiled my son and did eat him. And I said unto her on the next day, give thy son that we may eat him. And she hath hid her son. And it came to, right. So you know, you got something to say?
When I said finesse, she got finesse.
Yeah, she got finessed. That's right. You know, but it's the same scenario that the elder was bringing out in the Josephus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You see, it says, and it came to pass when the king heard the words of the woman that he rent his clothes and he passed by upon the wall, and the people looked, and behold, he had sackcloth within upon his flesh. So in other words, and then right after that, he went to go do what? To go try to put Elisha to death. Okay, so this is the time that's coming. We're coming to a time that's going to be very very different. You know, the hearts, the mindsets of people are going to change. They're going to become very desperate and very cold. Okay, Zaquan Babakusha, I just want to share my screen. I think you might have to unshare yours, I believe.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. I just want to share just want to show one article. The water. Let's go here.
And what's the name of the article, bro?
The name of the article I'm going to show. Okay. It's going to be the. Give me 1 second. It's going to be the doing. Or is this it? Give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
It's nearly.
Starvation.
Okay, it's going to be the eating disorders Duke Health. So eating disorders.
Okay.
Duke DUKE health.org. And the article is the starvation experiment.
Got you. I got it. The water.
Okay, you got it? Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, it says so this is the an experiment that was done dealing with starvation, right? And they were basically looking at the psychology of these people, okay, after going through this
Right.
a prolonged time of not eating. Oh, what was that? You said something, Saquon?
No. I'm just saying right now. I'm looking at it.
Okay, Khan. So I'm going to read this part. It says the phases. It says the experiment was conducted the following way. The first 12 weeks was a control period. The next 24 weeks involved semi-starvation, and the last 12 weeks involved controlled rehabilitation. So it was a 24-week. The 24-week process was the time of the semi-starvation. It's not even the full starvation. It was semi-starvation. Where starvation is nothing more than you just not getting sufficient calories for a time period.
Right.
Wow.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? Because a person, say the average person might, I don't know, but 2,000 some calories, I guess, I don't know, something like that. All right, but if you're getting only 1,000, you're starving.
Wow.
You see, so you don't have to not be eating anything at all. If you're not getting sufficient food, right? Then guess what? You're starving. You're famished. Okay,
Wow.
so it says results and observations. It says after reviewing and analyzing the data collected throughout the baseline starvation period and refeeding / rehabilitation period, notable changes were observed in physical, psychological, behavioral, and social aspects of the volunteers' lives. Not only had the participants' bodies gone through physical changes, but their psychological well-being had been impacted, which there's a scripture that said that people shall be starving and we shall have abundance.
Mm-hmm.
That right there is going to be a difference between the elect and these regular people. Physically, the ones that are starving, you're going to be able to see the ones that are starving.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're going to look at you like, damn, why does this guy look healthy? You know what I'm saying?
They're gonna try to eat us.
Well, no. Well, they're not going to prevail. You know what I'm saying?
They
They
gonna be
ain't going to prevail with that. You know, the spirit is going to protect us from that. You know, it says cognitive differences. First keys. It says noticed. It says noticed a significant difference in the themes of the participants' cognitions compared to the start of the study. The participants were far more preoccupied with food. You see? So their mindset is going to be towards food. It says food and eating became focal points in conversations, reading, dreams, and even daydreams. For example, when they watched movies, the studies participants were recorded commenting on the frequency of food and eating mentioned. Some volunteers developed concentration issues due to their preoccupation with food. So it's like like you see them cartoons, and they're looking at the individual. He looks like a hot dog, okay? Because that's the only thing they could. You understand what I'm saying? So when you give these people a prolonged time of hunger, that's going to be the only thing in their mind. That's going to be the only focus in their mind.
Yeah, bro. Oh man, they gonna be looking. They looking at you, man. They looking at you. All they see is a steak, like them cartoons, man. These people gonna be hurt. Oh man, bro. Let me pull this up real quick. That's funny. Where are we going? Just pull it up. It's lucky, man. We in the Zoom session. And I lost the article. Where's the article go? Oh, there it is. All right, back here. Shalom, GMS, Saskatchewan, bro.
And you know, Esau studies everything.
Yeah.
Esau studies everything. He always has a studies and articles on things.
All right. Back at it again. You can continue where you're going on, man. It had me laughing thinking about them cartoons, how they be looking at the coyote be looking, and all you see is a hot dog.
Right.
Or
That's right. That's right.
Hold
on, give me a second. Let me just pull this back up.
Talk about hangry.
Yeah, right. Angry. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Boy,
not hungry.
It's gonna be a whole nother level, man.
Man. Whew. Anyways, hold on. Let me pull this up here. Pull this back up. So lock in. You want to say anything, Zaquan?
Nah, bro. You killing the game right now, man.
Okay, all right. So let's go. Okay, let's continue. It says okay, so it says so it says let me read this part again. It says the study's participants were recorded commenting on the frequency of food and eating mentioned. Some volunteers developed concentration issues due to their preoccupation with food. Additionally, their interest in food expanded into new habits of reading cookbooks and collecting recipes. 3 participants even changed their occupations. So this changed their life so much. These people went into things pertaining to food after this experiment. Whoa. That's how much it changed their life. Okay. It said to reflect their extreme interest in eating and food. 3, right? So 3 became chefs and 1 went into the agricultural field. You understand what I'm saying? So people are the way their personalities are going to change based upon this. It says eating. If any brother has a precept, you go ahead and pull it out, please. Baba Kusha, we need some precepts too. It says eating changes. Okay, second keys. All right. It says observed changes in the participants' baseline behavior. During meal times, participants were recorded becoming more possessive over their food.
Like a dog.
You see that? Right? Zakar, get the scripture dealing with the elbows on the table. Whoa. Okay.
Bro, like you feed
all decorum is gonna go out the window. Salaki, what'd you say, Zakwan?
Go ahead. You feed them dogs and the dog growling at the bowl and the other dog walk up.
Con. That's right. That's right.
Hungry, bro.
That's right. Hangry. Like you said before. Right. The you got that, Zakar? What?
This is the book of Sirach 41 and verse 19. It says it's like I'm gonna have to build it up. Verse
okay, go ahead. Yep.
17, it says, be ashamed of whoredom before father and mother, and of a lie before a prince and a mighty man, or of an offense before a judge and ruler, of iniquity before a congregation of people, of unjust dealing before thy partner and friend, and of theft in regard of the place where thou sojournest, and in regard to the truth of the Most High and his covenant, and to lean with thine elbow upon the meat.
Right.
Learning to give and take.
Right. I'm sure brothers have had the experience of their parents telling them, don't embarrass me in this place. Don't act like you ain't eaten in days. Right? In other words, you eating like you ain't ate in days, which all your decorum goes out the window. So these people are getting these people who are in this experiment, they basically were acting like animals. Okay. It says observe changes in the participants. Oh, Salakia, go ahead.
If you take an etiquette class, because I used to be in like student government back in college, so you have to learn how to go to formal dinings, or you have to know which fork to pick up and shit. So I had to we have to take classes on it, so we didn't go up in there looking stupid. So you got to know which one is a salad fork and which one is a dinner fork and all that stuff, right? One of the first things they teach you is to not put your elbows on the table when you eat. You have to learn how to put the napkin down, and when somebody is leaning forward with their elbows on the table and just eating like ravenously, bro. You're not supposed to do that when you're in a formal dining hall, so you just this is an ancient type of thing where it's like it's off-putting when you have your hands all on the table, you leaned all over the plate. When we reading this article where people lose that whole sense of that, this next paragraph is hilarious, bro.
All right, Khan. So I'm gonna continue. It says
precept.
Yeah, Khan, go ahead. Yep, go ahead.
Sirach 14:10. A wicked eye envieth his bread, and he is a niggard at his table.
Damn, that's it. Well, that's what their eyes shall be evil toward their brother. Yeah. So they're gonna have an evil eye. They're gonna have a wicked eye. Even people who seem to be, somewhat decent people, whatever that means in this world, okay, they're gonna become beast-like and very cold and heartless. It says during mealtimes, it says during mealtimes, participants were recorded becoming possessive over their food, worried that others may try to eat their meals. They would guard their food defensively with their elbows. At mealtimes, participants were recorded eating all the food off their plates to the last crumb, right? And licking their plates. Man, all right, licking their plates clean. Some even became upset when non-participants in the cafeteria wasted food. Man,
you left some sauce. You left some sauce on your plate, and they looking at you like, "Why you leaving that sauce on that plate?"
Let's go. Well, that's why the scriptures say at destruction and famine, we're gonna laugh. We're gonna see people acting like that, and we're gonna have crumbs on our face. All right. Probably have a piece of loaf of bread in our back pocket, man. Okay. Now it says, wow. Okay, wow. I'm gonna read that again. So participants were recorded eating all the food on their plates to the last crumb and licking their plates clean. Some even became upset when non-participants, so these weren't people that were starving, in the cafeteria wasted food. You understand what I'm saying? So you might have a family member, they might whatever, you don't know. They might drink too much water, and the person might put them to death. You see? It says, moreover, those that enjoyed gum started chewing to excess. Gum chewing became a health concern due to participants rapidly chewing 2 sticks at a time until their mouths became sore. Damn. Dave Chappelle made a joke about that. He wants to go give gum to all the homeless people in that particular city in Connecticut because they booed him. Right? So that's not going to help with hunger, right?
Bro,
so it says the researchers
smacking.
What was that?
Smacking on that gum.
Right.
Hungry.
Right.
They ain't even got no flavor in the gum no more.
Right.
Go ahead, bro.
So the researchers had to place a cap on gum packages.
Damn.
Chewed per day to 2. Others developed tobacco smoking habits because it provided some relief from the hunger they experienced during the semi-starvation phase. So they're doing things that they wouldn't normally do. During the rehabilitation phase, more eating behaviors developed. Men started eating several meals in one sitting and developed gastrointestinal upset and headaches as a result. They experienced difficulties in reading their own hunger cues. Right. So just like a dog, if you keep feeding a dog, he's just going to keep eating because he doesn't know when he's full. You see what I'm saying? So that's what's going to happen with these guys. So they're constantly going to be, when they get to a point, they're going to constantly want to eat. They're going to constantly want to eat. They're going to constantly be devouring. They're going to become insatiable. It says participants describe feeling hungrier and using binge eating and purging behaviors. During the refeeding period, even after 5 months of refeeding, they continue to use these behaviors and develop body image concerns. So even after the period of this experiment, man, you said 5 months, that they still had these traits. Okay, so this is going to definitely change the lives and the mindset of these people. Okay, that famine, that lack of bread. Okay, if brother wants to get Ezekiel, the 4th chapter, real quick. Kusha.
You want it from the top?
Con.
Okay.
Oh well, no, not from the top, from the point. Dealing with the defiled bread. No, because whatever. What was that?
It's verse 13.
Verse 13, right? Because whatever Esau wants to offer you, offer them at that time. They're going to take, whether it's bugs, cockroaches. It doesn't matter what it is. They're going to accept it. Okay, because the food is defiled now, but it's about to become even more defiled under this devil. Okay, go ahead.
You got it.
Yep. Go ahead.
Ezekiel 4:13, and the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whether I will drive them.
Keep going.
Okay. Then said I, O Lord, power, behold, my soul had not been polluted, for from my youth up even till now have I not eaten of that which died of itself, or is torn in pieces. Neither came there abominable flesh into my mouth. Then he said unto me, lo, I have given thee cow's dung for man's dung.
Right, but the people, they're not going to have that. First of all, they don't have Yahawashi on their side, so they're not going to have that mindset. Okay, or I haven't eaten this. I don't eat cockroaches. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna eat whatever's put in front of them, soylent green, whatever's put in front of them, they're gonna eat that.
Yeah.
Okay, and then it's gonna come to a point, and this is why Esau's, what is he promoting a lot now secretly? Cannibalism. Yeah, he's promoting it. You got celebrities that say, "Oh, cannibalism gets a bad rep." I remember I did a lesson on Katy Perry saying that years ago.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So the celebrities, there's multiple celebrities that's coming out and saying that. That's just programming the people to say, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with that," because Esau wants complete chaos in these streets, man.
That's true.
Okay.
I saw a cooking program, and the chef was talking about the mixing human meat with the food.
Right. So they're normalizing it. So when that time comes, when that famine hits and it's already normalized, what do you think these people are going to do? They're going to look at their neighbor, say, "Oh, his calf looks juicy." You know what I'm saying to you? And that's it. Okay? Go ahead.
Okay. I'll read 15 again. Ezekiel 4:15. Then he said unto me, lo, I have given thee cow's dung for man's dung, and thou shalt prepare thy bread therewith. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, behold, I will break the staff of bread in Jerusalem, and they shall eat bread by weight and with care, and they shall drink water by measure.
Right, they shall eat bread by weight and with care. See, now they're not eating bread. They're ordering Uber Eats. They don't care about the weight. You understand what I'm saying to you? They don't care about the weight. They're eating in excess. Okay, they got bedtime snacks, and that time there's not going to be no bedtime snacks. Okay, you see what I'm saying? A glass of warm milk, that's done. It's over. like our boy Yuval, it's over. That devil. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
That they may want bread and water and be astonished one with another and consume away for their iniquity.
Oof. Look at the word astan, Baba Kushan, the blue letter.
I got it right here.
Okay, go ahead, brother.
This is the word astan in the blue letter. It says to be desolate, be appalled, stunned, stupefied. It says to be desolate, to be deflowered.
They're gonna have those desolate. That's why the Lord said He's gonna the haughty looks of men shall be humbled. They're gonna have that desolate look on their face. You know, that desolate, desperate look on their face. Go ahead, bro.
It says be deflowered, be deserted, be appalled.
Hold on. Deflowered. The flower woman. Because you humble her. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah. It says to be appalled, to be awestruck. It says, I'm gonna jump down a little bit, just repeating the same words. It says to be stunned, to be devastated, ravished.
What? Ravished?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
It says causing horror.
Mm.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Everything repeats itself.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want a woman to be joking with you after say. You don't want a woman to be in the basic. Oh my goodness, you know. You want it to be. Oh my goodness. She's almost scared of you after that. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, it says behavioral and personality changes. It says many were observed in collecting food-themed items and even rummaging through garbage to find food. God damn. The study's over. Why are they doing this? You see what I'm saying? It says the participants developed an extreme distaste for wasting food, right? Such behaviors have been observed in individuals with anorexia nervosa. Similarly, participants use methods to create the illusion that they had more food on their plates than in reality. Man, wow. They started toying with their food, cutting it up into pieces. Well, they're going to be toying with people and cutting them up. Okay? It says, and making their meal consumption last for hours. Man, listen, bro, the Lord is preparing some major hell on this earth.
Yep.
Okay? It says, which previously, get me those that be killed, slain with the sword, get me that? Okay, bring that out.
Lamentation 4:9. They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger.
You're better off getting an AK-47 to the cheek than to go through what we're reading about right now.
Mm-hmm.
You want to say something, Zaquan?
No, I was just agreeing. Like, it's gonna be bad out here, man. People are gonna be,
man, I'm picturing it.
On edge.
Man. Crazy. Go ahead, I'm watching.
Yeah. For this kind always stricken through. What's that word? Through. For want of the fruit of the field.
Mm-hmm. Yep. They're gonna pine away. They're gonna waste away. It says they start because it says that first your body eats its fat reserves, okay, but then it starts to eat the organs after that's taken up. You know what I'm saying? That's why it says starvation could lead to severe organ damage. Even just like I said, starvation is nothing more than malnourishment, not having enough calories. It says
I got it here in the NLT.
Okay, bring it up.
This is Lamentation 4:9. Says those killed by the sword are better off than those who die of hunger starving, they waste away for lack of food from the fields.
Go ahead, Machai.
That's the same chapter. I just wanted to jump to verse 8 because it gives you a description of how the body eats itself. Verse 8, it says, their visage is blacker than a coal. They are not known in the streets. Their skin cleaveth to their bones. It is withered. It has become like a stick.
Man, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. People who were once fat turn into a stick, man. That's crazy. It says, moreover, participants, is that where I was at? Okay, 1 second. Okay, so, right. It said, I'll start here again. It says, they started toying with their food, cutting it into small pieces and making their meal consumption last for hours, which previously would have lasted minutes. There was also a remarkable increase in the use of spices and salt to add flavor to meals, right? Moreover, participants who had been mostly extroverted in their social life became isolated and described themselves as feeling socially inadequate. Okay. Also reported a decrease in the sex drive and interest of their volunteers. So where else are these women gonna go? They got to go to people who's nourished. You know what I'm saying? Where else they gonna listen, bro? After these people ain't getting enough food, nothing's happening, man. The blood ain't flowing.
Yeah.
Come here, baby. I got you. All right. This is emotional changes. It says during the semi-starvation and the rehabilitation. Matter of fact, whole Isaiah 4. This says emotional changes during the semi-starvation and the rehabilitation phases. Participants were recorded developing new anxiety and depressive symptoms. Get Isaiah 24:4. Okay, because even now, which the elder Yahawah always brings this up about the what's it called, the new
languishing.
That's right, languishing, right? The new condition, right? But that's going to increase on such a high level, especially when there's no food, man. Brother, got that?
I got it.
Go ahead, bring it out.
Isaiah 24, verse 4. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away.
Right.
The haughty people of the earth do languish.
The haughty people of the earth do languish. Okay. See, so they're gonna languish even more in that time. And when you read languish, look at the definition real quick. Go ahead.
This is the word languish in the blue letter. It says to be weak, to droop, to languish, to be exhausted.
They're gonna be weak, man. When you don't eat, and when you're malnourished, you become weak. You see? So go ahead.
The Strongs. Jump to the Strongs.
Okay. We're strong, brother.
This is Strong's definition. It says by implication to be sick, to mourn, languish, be weak, wax feeble.
Yep, they're gonna wax feeble, man. They're gonna be very, very feeble and weak in the spirit. Okay. So like what was I gonna get here? Boom, 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 boom. You got Isaiah 4:1, brother? Bring that out real quick. Zakar, whoever has it. Yeah, get that. Because that all ties in, bro. Matter of fact, even better, you know what? Not even that. Get Isaiah 32. Isaiah 32 rather. Get Isaiah 32 and 2.
Also, the NLT Isaiah 4:1 is heavy too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's deal with Isaiah 32 and 2. Okay. That's really more of what I'm looking for, actually.
All right.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 32 and verse 2. And a man shall be as an hiding place from the wind, and the covert from the tempest.
Now, the wind and the tempest represents the different hell that's coming on the earth. One of those major hells is the famine. Okay, so they're gonna come to escape the famine and different things, because they're gonna see that we're nourished. They're gonna see that we're healthy, that we're not worried, that we're stable. Because the Lord said, "What? He that doeth my word, my words, and heareth my words and doeth them, get me that too." Baba Kushan. You know, so because listen, man, the men of the Lord are gonna become more precious than the fine gold, man.
This is the book of St. Matthew, chapter 7, and verse 24.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man, which built his house upon a rock, and the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew.
That's all that hell. That's all that hell. Okay, go ahead.
And the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock.
Right. It's founded upon that rock, which that rock is Yahawashi. So that's the bottom line. Okay, so they're gonna come to try to get covert within those buildings. Okay, which are the men of the Lord. Okay, go back to Isaiah 32 and just finish that off. 32.
It reads Isaiah 32:2, and the man shall be as an hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in the dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in the weary land.
That's it. Okay, so they're gonna become thirsty. Okay, literally and figuratively. Okay, so it says remarked. Matter of fact, where was I at? I was at right emotional changes. It said emotional changes during the semi-starvation and rehabilitation phases. Participants were recorded developing new anxiety and depressive symptoms not present at the beginning of the study. Using the Minnesota multifaceted personal inventory, Keys ETAL 1950, recording significant increases on the hysteria hypochondriasis, which I gotta look this up. Hysteria, I believe, is like a fear. Let me look it up. Okay, hysteria says February. Hysteria is a February 2022. Hysteria is a term used colloquially to mean ungovernable emotional excess. So they're going to become they became hyper emotional. Oh, hold on. Men shall be as women. Okay. Yep. Man shall be as women. You see what I'm saying? So they're going to become hyper emotional, based upon this, and can refer to a temporary state of mind or emotion. In the 19th century, female hysteria was a commonly diagnosed physical illness in both men and women, right? Because there's certain men that act like women, they're hyper emotional, but that's not the majority. But in that time, it's going to increase a lot. Go ahead. You have the scripture on that?
The precept.
Okay, go ahead.
This is Ezekiel 7 and verse 17. It says, "All hands shall be feeble, and all knees shall be weak as water. They shall also gird themselves with sackcloth, and horror shall cover them, and shame shall be upon all faces, and baldness upon all their heads."
That's right. That's right. Go ahead, break it down, bro.
No, basically, like you're going into, men are gonna be super emotional. The way it says how their knees gonna be weak as water, because what? No food. The pestilences, all the plague is gonna be hitting at once. So it's gonna be an awestruck to these people. It's gonna take them by surprise.
That's right. That's right. Matter of fact, Give me 1 second. Looking for a scripture real quick. This is Jeremiah 30 and verse 6. It says, "Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness." All right. So his hands on his loins. That's hysteria right there, man. That's him being hysterical, man. Fear, you know. That's why it says that what the paleness is going to be on his face, man. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, let me go back. Okay, just gonna finish off this last part here, which where was I at here? Okay, hysteria. Okay, now we got hypochondriasis. If a brother could look this up, hypochondriasis. Hypochondriasis. This word right here. HYPOCHONDRIASIS.
You got it here?
Go ahead, brother.
All right, this is a hypochondriasis. It says to have an unrealistic fear that they have a serious medical condition, or fear that they're at risk of becoming ill.
Mm-hmm. So just it deals with fear, man.
Hold on.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, my brother. Bring it out. All right. It's all predicated upon fear. These people are gonna be I had no clue that hunger was tied to them becoming more fearful. This was all based upon a semi-starvation experiment. Wow, man. Man, the Lord has all the dominoes set up in place, man.
I mean, the movie Road kind of shows you, the environment that, that's to come. You know how, like, they were traveling, they were scared for their lives, they couldn't sleep in one place, when the dad went into that house and then he saw that the basement was full of human, they're basically using humans for food, you could see how he was scared in his face,
Yeah.
That's right.
I got a quick precept.
Go ahead, Zaquan.
Luke 21:25, "And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring." Always require Kwame always uses this scripture to look up that word perplexity, right?
No.
Aporia. The word perplexity in the Greek, aporia. And it says the state of one who is in perplexity. You get that root word, aporio, to be without resources, to be in straits, to be left wanting, to be embarrassed, to be in doubt, to not know which way to turn. All right, to be at a loss of oneself, be in doubt. Okay, to not know how to decide or what to do, to be perplexed. And that's what's going to happen whenever all the resources in this place and the access to the resources get restricted to you have to have the MOTB to get to it, But first, it's just going to be chaos when they shut down these banks and they really shut down the monetary systems. People are going to be in perplexity, and there's going to be distress on earth of all these nations, man. Verse 26 says, men's heart failing, all right, hypochondria. Men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaking. Okay. Then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and glory. So all of these things needs be done in order for the, judgment of the Lord to come, in order for us to see Yahawashi descending upon the earth with the Holy Host. All of these things have to go down, man. And this famine that's going to grip the earth is a part of it. Brother, like that article beautifully described the mindset of what happens, in the spirit of what happens to a person when they go without. And like it says in the book of Revelation 18 chapter, people have lived deliciously here on the earth, man. They've lived deliciously. You know, they had all the Big Macs and the Whoppers with extra cheese and everything. The mashed potatoes, loaded mashed potatoes with steak. Drink wine and get 2 shots, extra shots of tequila and a margarita. But we coming to a time where you ain't gonna have access to that, man. And so we're gonna see people literally turn into werewolves in front of our face.
Yes.
And like you said earlier, bro, we're gonna sit back and laugh.
Yep.
Sit back and laugh, bro. So
yeah, I always say that when these things happen, it's just gonna be like a movie to us.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be like a 3D movie that we're in the midst of.
So I had a precept concerning to the hypochondriasis. I'll read it in the GNTD version. This is Wisdom in Solomon, the 17th chapter, and I'm gonna start at verse 10. It says, and so they died, shaking with fear, afraid even to open their eyes, yet unable to keep them shut.
Yeah.
Wickedness is cowardly in itself and stands self-condemned. Someone with a guilty conscience will always imagine things to be worse than they really are.
Damn.
Fear is nothing but the failure to use the help that reason gives.
Yeah. Damn. Nice. What version was that?
This is a GNTD. I actually got that elder one from the elder. He's doing with the other part.
Okay. Yeah, that's heavy, man. Matter of fact, read that one more time, Baba Kusha.
Right, bro. This is Wisdom of Solomon from the GNTD. Wisdom of Solomon 17 chapter verse 10. It says, and so they died, shaking with fear, even to open their eyes, yet unable to keep them shut. Wickedness is cowardly in itself and stands self-condemned. Someone with a guilty conscience will always imagine things to be worse than they really are.
Yeah. That's why these people, they fear death.
Yeah.
Because they have a guilty conscience, man. So they always, oh my God, they don't want to see what happens after, man. They know they got to, in the spirit, they know they got to go before the judgment seat, man. You just committed adultery and you hear a loud boom, a loud crack, you get nervous because you know what you just did, man. Okay. Go ahead.
Verse 12, it says, fear is nothing but the failure to use the help that reason gives. When you lack the confidence to rely on reason, you give in to the fears caused by ignorance.
That's it, man. The fear of the unknown. So that's hypochondriasis right there, man. Okay. It says, continuing on, it says, and depression scales indicating increased anxiety related to somatic concerns and depressive symptoms, especially during the semi-starvation period. Some of the participants endorsed becoming more sensitive and argumentative with others over the first 6 weeks of that's increasing conflict right there. Someone looks at you, what is he looking at her? Just acting crazy. You know what I'm saying? You ate my bread or something. Just acting crazy. You see, especially those individuals in the rehabilitation group that were fed less calories in the beginning of the phase to test refeeding strategies. Keys, ETAL, whatever that means, remarked that the only times these participants showed positive emotional reactions were in response to discussing their weight, food, or hunger.
Yeah, and so that's the end of that article. But I'm gonna go ahead and close out here. The water to all of you who tuned in to this class, man. I hope you was edified, man. Once again, we say, call Halal, Yahawashi, Yahawashi, Bashim, Qadash. We send double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Much peace, love, and salutation to you. I came out there pushing the word, sincerity, and truth. Shalom.